So welcome. Thank you so much for coming along today. I know it was a bit sort of last minute. I managed to escape the last lockdown, came back to this one. And Irene has been amazing looking after the team whilst I've been away. And she just put something in her chat. Anyone want to do a VCE this weekend? So we're going, yeah, let's do it. So that's what we're here for. Now, I believe, let me just find out. Okay, so just a bit of housekeeping. We do have a chat box down the bottom here. So feel free to put any questions in the chat. And what I'd just like to know is if anyone does not already own a Thermomix, can you please put that in the chat? Otherwise, I'm going to take it. I know there's a couple of TM5 owners on here and some TM6s, but does anyone not own one?
Lisa's on, Mandy, so that would be a yes, I'd say.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay. So Lisa, great. Fantastic. All right. So what we're going to do, as we are mainly owners, we're going to concentrate more on the cooking, but I will also show you through Cookie Do and also give you a little rundown of the TM6. So thanks, Lisa, for joining us at late notice. So it's fabulous. All right. So first of all, really, I'd like you all just to answer this, please, and just pop something in the chat box. What made you buy a Thermomix? Was it because it was going to make cooking easier for you? Was it because you lack inspiration normally and you just felt this would give you a little bit more inspiration? Was it because you wanted to save time? Was it, thanks Beata, was it because you wanted to save some money? Which I know might sound a little bit odd because you pay to get your Thermomix, but you know what, it does save you money because you're cooking from scratch. Okay, or was it cooking easier and freeing up time? Fantastic. All right, any other reasons why you people have bought Thermomixes? Okay, there's also the health aspect, and I know that was definitely part of it for me. Time saving and food prep. Cool. Thanks, Lisa. All of the reasons. Wonderful. All right. So you'll see as we go through, I mean, those of you who've already got one will absolutely know how it can save you time, how it can save you money, et cetera, et cetera. But we'll, thank you. But yeah, we'll get cooking. We'll get showing you what we're here to show you. And what we're actually cooking today, it's obviously not going to showcase all the functions of the Thermomix, but it will show you some of them. All right. So Irene is actually going to start. And she can tell you about her dish. Thanks, Irene.
Hi, guys. Thanks for coming along. I am making the pineapple teriyaki salmon. There's a pineapple collection for those that haven't seen it yet, which got me very excited. I love pineapple. I love the sour that you can get with the sweet. So I'm doing that dish. So if you find the collection, it's just called pineapple. Actually, what's the collection called? Trying to look.
I'll look through when we do Cookie Do. We'll find it.
It's called pineapple passion. Okay, so I'm just going to get started. So I've obviously added it into my leek. All my other bits out of the way. And this is really quite a simple dish. Takes about half an hour, and honestly, it's probably the least amount of mess. I'm a pretty messy cook, but chopping board and a knife is all I needed, so it's pretty easy to get this one together. So essentially, there is 285 grams of fresh pineapple. It's about half a pineapple, and there's about 15 grams of fresh ginger, which I've just sliced a little bit. You can put it in the hole, it's going to get pulverized.
Can I come to your house for dinner? It sounds fantastic already.
It's beautiful. I'm so excited to try this dish. So this is the first time I'm making it. That's the beauty of this. You can give it a go. You're not spending hours and hours in the kitchen. Lid goes on. Let's see it for 20 seconds. Beautiful. You can see how, you know, pulverized that is. So
beautiful color too.
Yeah, like it smells like, you know, it's going to be a very spicy pina colada. I'm sad that we're not together, Pearl. I think Pearl's doing our pina colada or an alcoholic dessert, so we could have shared it. So you can see how easy it is, guys. You know, everyone on here's got a Thermomix, so very quick and easy. Scrape it down. So we're going to make a sauce. To the sauce, I'm essentially adding brown sugar, water, some soy sauce, some rice vinegar, and we're going to cook that for 7 minutes, I believe. So scrape down, everything else goes in. So my brown sugar's here. And all my other bits and pieces are in there, all my liquid ready to go. Ask you to blend it for about 5 seconds. And I'm going to cook that for 7 minutes. Over to you, Mandy.
Thank you, Irene. Boone, can you pop onto my screen, please? You can find it. Thanks. Wonderful, thank you. All right, so I'm also doing a super simple dish, and exactly as Irene said, I cannot believe how little mess there is. So very excited about this, and I will go through in a minute. I will go do a little bit of a tour of the TM6, but I'm just going to get my dish started. So I have actually put it into my week. So I'm just going to click on these 3 lines here. I'm going to go into my week, and I am making the sticky chili beef. All right, so I'm going to go start cooking, but I've actually done the first little bit because I had to marinate the beef. And just a little trick for you. So, oh, by the way, that was another little tip. So I've just taken the lid off. So you always, when you're measuring, always make sure that you tear, so you start on 0, because there's nothing worse than starting to put stuff in there and go, oh dear, I've got no idea where I was. But so basically it was the dark soy, it was honey. Now, a little tip with honey, and I found this with a few recipes. Sometimes you need to just add a little bit of heat when you're doing this, if you're using honey. Otherwise, you get left with the honey around the blades on the bottom and it doesn't come out. So just for example, there's a really fantastic immune boosting juice. And with that one, I always put a minute of at 37 degrees, just to make sure all the honey has melted. Okay. 1 tablespoon of tomato ketchup, homemade tomato ketchup from the Thermomix, and 1 red chili. So I did all that, and then it said to me to put the insert the measuring cup, 10 seconds. But what I actually did was I put it on for about a minute, and I just put the temperature up to 37 degrees here to make sure that that honey was melting. Transfer into a bowl, and then I had to put the bowl on the lid, and I added my meat in there. So there is my meat that's all marinated. That's actually been marinated for longer than half an hour because I could. All right. So then, yeah, so it says cover and marinade. Then I'm going to put 10 grams of sesame oil in. Now, I wasn't sure if I had sesame. I would have used peanut oil if I hadn't got sesame, but I do. So there that, put my sesame oil in. Here we go. And next, add the marinated mixture. So there is all of my beef there. It's going to go in with the marinade. Now, I'm just going to give it, hold on, just forgot a spatula. All right, I'm just going to scrape that out with a spatula. It's actually, the honey is all going in, so that's good. Okay. Next, ensure the meat is evenly distributed around the mixing bowl. So I'm just pushing that around there, and I'll just show you what that looks like. Pretty much. There we go. Now, this recipe is using the high heat function. So I'm popping my lid on, and then I'm going to put the splash guard on top. Okay, so no measuring cup, but just the splash guard. And this is just for the high heat in the TM6. That's done. And this little symbol here means that it's going to use the high heat, and that it's going to cook for 5 seconds. So you just turn it here. You don't turn it to any speed or anything. You just literally turn and it will start going. Okay. Now, whilst that's going there, we're going to come over to my other TM6 here. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of a rundown. Okay. Always good for it as a refresher. So on our screen there, we've got time, we've got temperature, and we've got speed. Whichever one of these dials is large, you control by the silver knob. So I'm turning up my time here. My temperature goes all the way up to 120. That's on a thermostat. So exactly like you're heating, it's going to click up, get up to that temperature and click off, or whatever temperature you set it at. Okay. And if you want to steam, it needs to be on varoma temperature, which is the top temperature here. Okay, that's that. And then this is where you turn up your speed. Really important, if you are cooking manually, you need to start from the left-hand side, because if you're heating anything, it will not heat unless you have the temperature, the time set, which is just a safety feature. I'm just going to turn that one down. Okay, now on this little dial here, you can see there's a little blade symbol. When that is showing, it means that it is chopping. If I press that, it means it's on reverse, it's stirring. So the blades have a sharp side and a rounded side. And so depending on which way, you know, obviously if you're making a risotto, you want to chop your onions, but you don't want to, you just want to stir your rice. Okay, yes, as Irene's put in the chat there, the high heat goes to 160 degrees, but that's only available in guided cooking. Okay, so now if I swipe this way, that brings me to all the other functions here. I've got the scales, which we've seen already. They are 1 gram increments. Okay, we've got dough mode, which is for kneading dough. Turbo, which is one of my favorites for cleaning the blades if you've made a dip, or you've made, I made some muffins, I'll show you a bit later on this morning, and just to get the last of the mixture out, I used turbo, which just cleaned the blades and got the mixture so it's easy to scrape out. The pre-clean, we love the pre-clean. So basically you cover the blades with some water, 1 drop of dishwashing liquid, or if you are using the browning cleaning mode, you use 50 grams of white vinegar. You can use the white vinegar instead for any of them, but particularly with that one. And that is just because it can, apparently what's happened, and I haven't tried it, I don't know if anyone else on here has tried it, but if you're using with the browning clean, it can, the bubbles can come up out of the top of the lid. All right, all these functions have a little eye here, and that gives you information about that function. So it tells you how to use it. Okay, get out of that one. We've got an automatic blend. We've got the egg boiler mode here, which is amazing. You don't need a blade cover. It literally, you just pop your eggs into here. Again, it's got the information here. 2 to 6 eggs from the fridge straight into the bowl. And I think it's up to a litre of water. And then after that, once you've done that, you just turn this up to however you want your eggs done. Okay, and they will come, it'll tell you when they're finished. So Beata, I hope that helps you, because I know that was something you weren't sure about. We've got kettle mode, which is just really heating your water. Warm up, so soups and things you can reheat in here. Thicken is for sauces, bechamel sauce, a hollandaise sauce, for custards, all those sorts of things. Rice cooker is self-explanatory, cooking rice. Oops, hang on, sorry, come back, trying to go up. Fermentation mode is for making yogurt, so you can either make it in the varoma in little jars, or you can make it in the varoma in a thermo server. So this is a host reward option. This is a 2.6 litre thermo server, which you can make a big batch of yogurt in there. I'd say it's smelling good. We've got slow cook and we've got sous vide. Now, if you're slow cooking or sous videing, you do need a blade cover. You can actually do the sous vide without a blade cover, but it's going to limit your capacity because you have to have whatever will fit in the simmering basket, okay? But the blade cover literally sits over the blades. Very, very simple. Push this back. Okay, so there's a blades and the blade cover just sits over like that. Just gives you volume for the for sous vide and also for the slow cooking. Okay, all right, let me just see. Okay, how are you going, Irene?
I'm ready when you are.
You're ready? Okay, well, let's
Yeah,
go back to
absolutely.
Irene and I can finish this off in a minute.
Sure, great. Okay, so my sauce is cooked for the 7 minutes. You can see that in there. Ready to go. In terms of quantity, it's just where the blades, so it's not quite, it's probably just above, I guess, the first set of blades. You can still see the second part of the blades, the higher part is still exposed. So we're actually steaming with this amount of liquid. As we're steaming our broccoli and our fish, the idea is obviously that sauce is going to thicken with the sugars that are in there. Just be mindful of this. So if you're, obviously this recipe, sorry, when you read this recipe, it says to, 4 pieces of fish, etc. That doesn't mean you reduce the sauce quantity because you're only making it for one person. Make sure you make the same quantity of sauce, otherwise you won't have enough liquid in there. And you'll potentially run out of liquid for your steaming process. I'm only doing a piece of fish because this is just for me for tonight. Mum decided she wanted baklava for dinner, so we can talk about that later. So I've just put in literally, I think it asks for, 400 or 340 grams of broccoli florets. So you're talking one sort of large head of broccoli. Again, just enough for me. It's probably a little bit too much for me as well. So the aroma goes into position. In my tray, I've got our parchment paper. So on the mix shop, for those that haven't been, everyone ends up on the mix shop. Lots of goodies to buy. There's pre-cut sheets you can buy, parchment sheets. So obviously the one with the holes is to allow the steam to go through. So really good if you're doing steamed dumplings, those sorts of things. In the case of this one, I'm using the plain sheet. You can obviously cut out your own parchment paper. I've wet it just a little bit to be able to scrunch it up. What that it does is it allows me to tuck it in right into the aroma tray. So I'm keeping those sides exposed so the steam can come up around little side bits through here, but it's keeping all the liquid from the fish. So if you've got anyone you've got some vegetarians at home, you still want to make a dish in the bowl but separate the juices, you'll be able to do that with this parchment paper. There's trays and things you can buy on the mix shop as well. So that goes on top, and I'm just going to add lovely salmon I picked up at Grand Market this week. Gorgeous, beautiful salmon. And that's going to go there. Okay. Moving through the recipe. Okay, so going to cook that for about 10 minutes and just check it. Obviously, it depends on how you like your vegetables. I like my vegetables pretty firm, so I might actually even pull them out a little bit earlier than this. And that's kind of the rule with the Thermomix. When you get delivery of your green book, there's some guides in the back of the book. We can probably pull the book out and show you later in terms of steaming. So how long it takes for each type, I guess, vegetable or protein that you're steaming. But it really comes back to your personal choice. So for me, I like them quite firm. If you like them softer, you can steam them longer. So I'm just going to turn the dial. This is going to go for 10 minutes, Mandy. See you soon.
Thanks, Irene. Yeah, so it is TM6 as you have a white book, and what Irene was talking about is in the back. There's a whole section with information about chopping and steaming and stuff in there. All right, so that's at the back of your white book. Okay, and just one thing before we go back to my screen in a second. I was recently, I was away, and I was cooking for someone who's a vegetarian, but I was doing a dish exactly, which was layered. So it was the my favorite chicken, which has gone out of my head, the easy satay chicken. And that's delicious. But I had to keep the chicken away from, so it didn't drip down through the rice. So the rice was cooking in the simmering basket. The chicken was in the main part of the varoma, and I had vegetables on top. So the vegetables on top were fine, but I had to stop the juice of the chicken dripping through the rice, because she was horrified when she thought that might have happened. But I did exactly as Irene did, and just had some baking paper in, which I wet and contained all the juices of the chicken, so that my sister-in-law could still eat the dish. And it was a big success, I have to say. Is parchment paper the same? Yes. Thanks. Thanks, Irene. I'm a little bit far away from the screen of my computer to answer questions, so that's helpful. All right, Boone, if we can just go back to my screen, that would be fantastic. Thank you. All right, so that was the meat cooking. It's asking me to transfer it into a thermoserver. So a thermoserver is one of the things that comes with, is a gift with purchase this month, a thermoserver, along with our 20th anniversary cookbook. I get confused because it's 50 years for Thermomix and 20 for Thermomix in Australia. Anyway, so there is all my meat. I'm just going to tip that into the thermoserver here. Okay, hold up the glasses. Okay, next. Oh, go too far. Hang on, I'm just going to check. So you can always, if you're unsure if you've done the wrong thing or not, you can just go back one. Okay, now it is transfer. Then I'm going to put 300 grams of vegetables. Now it does suggest, oh, we can have a look. So in your recipe, you've got these 3 dots here. Click onto the 3 dots. Let's go recipe detail. And we're just going to scroll down to the bottom here, and it will give you tips. And I think it did, didn't give me any tips. Okay, I'm thinking of something else. All right, so then we can just go continue. But that is how you can check what's required next in your recipe. And so you don't have to have all your ingredients out of the front. So just do that, do your recipe detail, go down, you can see what's required next. This just says 300 grams of veggies. Okay, so what I have is I have some mushroom, I have some sugar snap peas, I have a little bit of broccolini, and I have some red capsicum in there as well. So they're all going in. So my scales are on 0. Okay. And 10 grams of sesame oil. That's what I was checking, because I knew I needed 10 more grams of sesame oil. All right. Okay. Put my lid on. So this is just measuring cup. So I am going to find my measuring cup somewhere. Here. Okay. And that's going to be 3 minutes at 120 degrees on reverse, because we don't want those vegetables chopped up. All right. Okay. We might head to Pearl, and Pearl can show us her beautiful pina colada.
Okay, today I'm going to make a Pinacolada, a cocktail. If you look at the recipes, there are lots and lots of cocktails, and I've chosen this one. It's going to take me total time of 5 minutes to make it. So it's so easy to have it when you have guests over. So you can make it while your guests are there, when the guests come in, of course. And also during this time, this is one of the most popular things, is people are making a lot of cocktails. So most cooked. Okay, so let's start. So it's telling 500 grams of ice. So I've got my ice and my pineapple in my thermoserver, which I'll just tip it over. Next. 100 grams, 100 to 150 grams of castor sugar, it tells you. I have just put 100 grams. That's another thing that you're in control of what you put. You can put less if you want. So it's 93 grams. There's some stuck to my bowl. Okay, so next, insert the measuring cup. Next. So it's telling me for 2 minutes on speed from, I'm going gradual speed from speed 5 to speed 10.
Whilst Pearl's doing that, do you want to come back to me because it's just noise? She can't talk over it. Okay, I'll just finish off we'll look at the rest of. Come back to my phone camera, please, Boone. Thank you. All right, so we've got all those functions there. The other thing now, if I just go back to the home screen, what we can do from here is just go straight into Cookie Do. So I can swipe this way, yes, and here we go, straight into Cookie Do, and I can start searching straight away. The other way you can do it is, I don't know if you noticed before, there was a little search button, little search thing up here, so you can absolutely do that. And Pearl, you just let us know when you've finished. So I will go through Cookie Do on the computer in a minute, but you can, I've got 5 filters in here, and that's what I was talking about, Christine. So if I look at my 5 filters, I know I have in there, I'll have different countries, and I'll show you this properly on the computer in a minute. So let's just go back. We'll just go back to here. So this is the other way you can access Cookie Do. You just go on that search button there, and then you can just start searching straight away. So the filters are saved in here. They're not always saved on my computer, but I have chosen, I've got a TM6 that I have English, but I have the UK, the US, and Australian recipes coming up because they're all in English. Okay. So the other thing you can do, though, once you've chosen your recipes and you use Cookie Do to do this, you can come to these 3 lines here. You can have a look at my week. So we looked at that before. So my recipe was in there, the sticky chili beef. Irene's recipe there is there in a pina colada, and I've got a few things happening tomorrow, and I've got some recipes in there ready for that. So it's just super convenient because you can just come in, click on the day, and away you go. The other thing from here too is you can access your recipes. So you can create collections, which we'll have a look at on Cookie Do in a minute. And so you can go into here and your creative collections will be there straight away. All right. Now, Pearl, how are you doing? Come in, Pearl.
I'm done. I've got a nice sorbet. And now I'm going to just put the coconut milk and I'm done. So it tells me 400 grams of coconut milk.
So was the alcohol in there already, Pearl?
No, not as yet.
Not as yet, okay.
So 400 grams. What I'm going to do is I'll take off some and make a mocktail out of it for my daughter, the one who's not 18 as yet. So it tells me to put Malibu in, but I will not. So I will just stir this and I can put it later. So again, here I'm in control of what I am putting. So while we all have our alcoholic drink, my small one will have a non-alcoholic drink. So I'm going to go back next. Insert measuring cup for 5 seconds. Just stir it.
You can see how cold it is in the bowl there. The ice on the outside.
Give her a little.
Well, that's enough for her. You need alcohol in yours.
And here I can put a little extra or put less, whatever. It says 180 grams of Malibu. Oops, it's 196 grams.
That won't matter in your house, will it?
No, it won't. So now it's that. So put in 2 different glasses so that I can differentiate. Otherwise, my small one will be having alcohol and we will be all having a non-alcoholic.
Well, at least she's at home, Pearl.
Yeah. So these are my 2 glasses.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Which we could all be together.
I know. We will shortly, Mandy.
Sorry?
We will shortly.
Yes, absolutely. Fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
positive.
All right, Boone, if you can just come back to my camera again, the other one. Just finish off this dish super quick. All right, so it's done that. So now I'm going to add my reserved beef. So there are my veggies, looking beautiful. And I'm going to pop the beef back in. So it's seeming like it's taking longer than it is. It's just because we're popping back between people. But honestly, the cooking time, so basically you marinade for half an hour. Then the cooking time was 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and then this I think is 3 minutes. Splash guard. Okay, so off, splash guard on. That's done. And then 3 minutes of high heat. Okay, whilst that's happening, we'll just go back to the big screen a second, please, Boone. So this is the other thing that comes with as a gift with purchase this month. So we've got the thermo server. The thermo server will keep your food warm for up to 2 hours. But we've got, this is the anniversary cookbook, which is absolutely beautiful book. And just so you're aware, there is a little bit of competition, cook the cover. So there's some beautiful recipes on there. If anybody wants to cook the cover and tag Thermomix in Australia, anything from here, then you get an opportunity to win a prize. All right, that's that. And the other thing I just want to mention too is we have 36 months interest free currently, which works out at just under $18 a week, which is a really easy way to get a Thermomix on your kitchen bench. Pearl, can you answer in the chat box for Beata, was the pineapple frozen, please? I'll just give you a quick little rundown through Cookie Doo. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. All right. So just quickly, you can personalize your account. So if you come in here and you can have a look at your profile, you can view your profile and you can change things. So if you are a chefy cook or a classic cook, or you want to label yourself as one of these, you will start getting personalized recipes coming your way. And then this is the search filter preference that I have. I have the TM6, I have English, United Kingdom, United States, and Australia. Okay, as I said, it doesn't always translate on my computer, but it does on my machine, and it does usually on my phone. So I can start absolutely searching in here. So I could go that pina colada. Oh, look, pina colada layer cake. And that will give us, there we are. That's from that. Those two are from that same pineapple collection, I think, that Irene was cooking from. Pinacolada ice cream. There is a delicious chili pineapple recipe, which is a slow cook recipe, which is fantastic. Anyway, so on my filters, oh, they're actually saved in there. That's pretty cool. You can look by, I'm going to get rid of that. You can look by recipes, or you can look by collections. And this is the collection that Irene's recipe came from, Pineapple Passion. This is from the US. So that's her pineapple teriyaki. If we just click in on here, you will see that when you are cooking anything from the US, it is in ounces, but that will automatically come up as ounces on the screen of your Thermomix. Okay. This is another very new collection we've had here, and that one came out, the Flavors of Japan came out in time with the Olympics. This is the Thermomix Creating Something Incredible, part 1. So this is part of that book that I just showed you before. There was a competition amongst consultants to make this, well, a variation of this cake. I'll just show you. I didn't do it. I was very lucky. I had a really good excuse. I was away. But Irene could have done it because she's very chefy and very clever. But this is what people, this is what they were making, which took about 3 or 4 days, I think, with all the components. So you had to make the macarons, you had to make this cake, and there was something else you had to make. Anyway, yeah, so that was pretty amazing. Anyway, so you can look by collections, but the best way to search is by recipes. And this is where we use our filters. So as you saw, I had filters in there already. So what I do is there are my filters, but if they weren't there, then you just scroll down here and you can add those filters in for different countries. You can, if you're like Kasia and you speak Polish, you could look for Polish recipes. There's recipes in all different languages from around the world. Then you can come up here and you can have a look for, you know, what sort of dishes. So let's just have a quick look at sauces, dips and spreads. Okay, so that's, I've got that. Show 164 results. So the lemon butter, I have someone who bought a couple of months ago who bought because of the lemon butter. So it is that good. So the salted caramel sauce is delicious, all sorts of amazing. That summer fruit crumble is to die for too. That's actually in the UK as well. So you can go through and you can go, actually, I want to remember that lemon curd, that lemon butter. You can click on the recipe. Probably not a good one to showcase this, but it does tell you calories, protein, carbs, fats. It also gives you useful items that you might need and tips and tricks. So you can store your lemon curd in the fridge for up to 4 weeks. I've had some in there for much longer and it's fine. But you can do that, and then you can add it. You can add it to a collection. So we're going to create a collection. I'm just going to call it collection A because that's easy and I know I can find it easily now. But you would put it into your, you know, jams or spreads or preserves or whatever you wanted to do. And whilst you've got this filter up, I would go through all the other recipes here and put aside ones that is delicious, or that would definitely go in. Add to collection. Oops. Happened there. My computer's got a thinking problem at the moment. It's taking forever. Anyway, well, sorry, it's going to take a bit of while. Got to have it looked at tomorrow. All right, we'll see if we can get past that. We'll see. But then once you've finished, oh, here we go. Into A, remind me not to do another one. But you can also from there, you can add it into your week and you can add it to your shopping list if you need to get the ingredients. So if you want to find those recipes, you come into my recipes and here we are, we have A. And then I've got, these are created recipes, that ones that I have chosen exactly what I want where, and I've added them to collection. You can also go into my week. Here we are, and the shopping list. So I'm going to just clear all that. Clear the shopping list. Let's pretend that I need to buy, I know I do need to buy for that. So I'm going to add that to my shopping list. And I've got to add that to my shopping list. Okay, so I scroll back up to the top. I show my ingredients on my shopping list, and then I can go, I've got raisins, I don't need the raisins. I've got the pine nuts, I've got the sugar, I don't need to buy water. I know I've got feta, I've got the prawns, and so on. You go through, you click off what you don't need, you come down to the bottom here, you add in things that you do need. And then if you want to, depending on how you shop, you can just click on here. You can share it, or you can just go order ingredients. It only goes to Woolies at this point in time. You click on the Woolworths, and there you go. Add to your Woolworths cart. Really simple. Of course, the app is available on your phone. So I just take my phone with me with my shopping list on it, the shops, and click things off as I've got them. All right. Yep. So hopefully, Christine, that helps with the filters and finding those recipes. Just going to stop sharing. Okay. I'm going to just finish this off. So the last stage on this is basically season with a pinch of fine sea salt and black pepper, and then serve. So that's mine done. I'm going to put it into a thermo server because I'm not going to eat it till a little bit later on. And Pearl wants the salmon. Oh, hang on a minute, Pearl. Mine's going to look good too. Look at that. Oh, you can't see. Oh, just thrown it everywhere. There you go. Can you see that on there? Boone, can you just move to that screen? Yeah, perfect. Look at that. It's amazing. But we'll go back to Irene because I think she should be just about ready to go.
I sure am.
Oh, wow, that looks incredible.
I'm ready to eat. So guys, I've strained my sauce. It's in out. I've got it in one of the little yogurt jars. So there's quite a bit of sauce. So I've got plenty on plate. Now I asked you to strain it. Honestly, I probably wouldn't even bother. I've brushed a little bit of it. I don't mind it because it's not really fibrous anyway. So I think don't bother and then just pop it in a jar. It should be right in the fridge for a couple of weeks. Now if you're cutting back on your sugar and you don't want to use the brown sugar, you can use some monk fruit sweetener. So it's one of those 0 cal, low cal sugars. You need to add obviously like molasses. So the difference between white sugar, brown sugar, and dark brown sugar is the amount of molasses in it. There's recipes on Cookie there's recipes on all over the internet on how to make your own brown sugar. So you need to still add some molasses to give you that depth of flavor, that caramel flavor that you get from that. But I'm so excited to try this.
It looks delicious.
Yum.
Now, before you run away, guys, and this is for Lisa's benefit because I think she's got an old thermi. I haven't washed it, so I wanted to show you this. I'll do it in the meantime. So I've just added some water. I've literally added a dish of dishwashing liquid, and on built-in functions in Thermomix. So I'm just going to go home. There's actually a pre-clean function. So in the pre-clean function, there's different temperatures for different settings. So if you're just doing a rinse to the bowl, it does as low as 37 degrees. If you've got browned, burnt on fats and things on your Thermomix, it goes up to 105 degrees. So it actually soaks the bowl to clean it for you. So anyone who's not using that function, I absolutely love it. It's probably one of the things I absolutely loved about the new model. So I'm going to wash it. Back to you, Mandy.
Okay, I'm just plating up a little bit of mine so you can see it a bit better. There we go. And really looking forward to having that for dinner, I have to say. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to come off and just put it back in my thermo server to keep it warm. So sorry about that, it doesn't look very pretty. But I've got to keep it warm for dinner. All right, so just lastly, before we go, what sort of things do you guys want to see? We are happy to do things for you when we're in lockdown. Is there anything you want to learn? Is there anything in particular that you want to see? And if there is, can you pop it in the chat box, please, so that we know? Oh, good on you, Beata. That's wonderful. And just to let you know, if anyone is passionate about Thermomix and would like to join our team, we'd love to have you. We have a half-price business kit going until the 25th of this month, where you get lots of freebies for a very for $62.50. You get thermo server, you get apron, you get bread mats, you get all sorts of things for $62.50. If you decided if you wanted to join us, I know most of you do have a TM6, but if you wanted to earn a TM6, then you can come on board, you can get a discounted TM6. So we'd love to have you. I can see, before we go back to Irene, I've got to show you what I made this morning too. So I baked these they're blueberry and almond breakfast cookies or muffins. And let's quickly go back and see what Irene's made for her mum for dinner.
It's, you know, she's already had a little bit, see the bit that's missing?
Yeah.
So she's ready to start snacking. I think I have to get rid of some of this at the office tomorrow.
Yeah.
But it's basically, it's almost like having a walnut cake inside filo pastry. And I have to say, it's pretty darn good. So
Looks amazing. So thank you everybody for coming along. Thank you, Pearl and Irene, for demonstrating. And thank you, Boone, for all your behind the scenes lurking in your Northern Lights as usual. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. And if anyone's got any questions, please fire away. Welcome to come off mute. Christine, did that help you with the filters? You're muted, so we can't hear you, but hopefully that helped with the filters.
Yes, it did. Thank you so very much. I think I just have to reset the phone. It said sign out and then sign back in again. I'll do that later.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Thank you so much for that. That's great. What was the last dish that the lady made for her mother?
oh, it's a cross between a walnut cake and baklava. So instead of having just a layer of the nuts in the middle, you actually make almost a sponge cake that sits in between the pastry. It's pretty divine. Maybe we should do that, Mandy, on one of our classes.
Yeah, well, you can do that.
Maybe we do another Greek class. There's I don't know if anyone's been following. Mandy's got quite a lot of our videos posted on YouTube. So please jump onto her site. We've got our Greek class, Italian, no, Greek, we did French, which is so many over lockdown last year. So it looks like we're going again. So let's
this will go up there too. But just Google, just stop.